Oh my god, it's fucking roasting. There's a heat wave, people, so if I die in the middle of making this video, just so you know, I did it for you. Now, there's been some interesting developments over the course of YouTube recently, and it just so happens to involve a friend of mine. Now, I don't consider this drama. This is literally just people using her art, using her image for their own selfish and rather disgusting immoral means. And I am, of course, talking about Heart Progress and Miss Misa. Now, what has happened is very simple. Heart Progress has essentially been called out by numerous YouTubers over the course of a couple of weeks now. And what has happened is they are essentially a pro-pedophile organisation or channel using the web to spread their agenda. They believe that paedophiles are just a sexuality, and that essentially they are a minority that's being oppressed and they deserve to have their rights upheld, and that they should be allowed to fuck children, and that they should be part of the LGBT community and be put in there as part of the plus. Now, as we've seen, this has been a push by quite a few left-wing media outlets, as you all know, and that is quite worrying. And these people are the legit ones, the batshit crazy ones. So, to give you a sense of what these people think and what they're like,
his waist and his feet chained together. Michael John Quinn was alone this morning, surrounded in court by accused of paedophilia. The prosecution revealing the rugby enthusiast was in a Los Angeles hotel in a beachside community when he was arrested trying to pay for sex with a 6-year-old boy.
It's pretty cringy. It's pretty disgusting, isn't it, using this music, trying to manipulate your emotions into somehow feeling sympathy for this guy or these people who have essentially been caught soliciting for sex by underage prostitutes. So they're saying that for too long has society been bringing these people down and bringing them to justice, because, you know, we can't be having people being put into jail for abusing minors, because, as we all know, when kids have sex with adults, they will more likely than not be used and abused, and they will suffer untold emotional trauma from said events because they don't understand the feelings that's been going on here. They're not physically and mentally developed and capable enough to handle these horrible things that are being done to them. Only when you are of a specific age, usually the age consent of your country, are you trusted enough, are you considered mentally and physically capable enough of consenting and dealing with the emotions and the actions that you are about to undertake with sex. But hey, you know what? With these people, kids can totally do it, right? I mean, kids, they're amazing. They can do it all for themselves, because remember, all kids are that 0.01% or however many it is who can consent and know exactly what they're doing when it comes to sex, right?
Mr. Quinn is represented by a court-appointed public defender who this morning gave up on an application to have him freed on bail.
He should be held without bond. That
Pedosexuals are being shown as monsters and freaks. Well, excuse me for thinking that somebody who's using kids for their own sexual gratification and giving them trauma and abusing them is a monster. Forgive me for thinking that. I did not know that they were an oppressed minority akin to the gays in a bygone era. I did not know that. It's not like every other civilization has ever not disliked them. And besides, it's funny that he says that, because the people who are less likely to deal with these emotions are actually the female paedophiles. Yes, they do exist, and yes, they tend to get away with it because some people, a lot of people, frightening amount of people, think that the young boys who are being abused by these women loved it. They're enjoying it. Of course they wanted it, even though these boys have been groomed and abused by these women who are often their authority figures, like teachers. So yeah, they're right in the sense that maybe the male ones are going to be scared of ostracisation and a backlash and potential public outrage, but the female ones, they haven't got much to worry about other than being sent to jail or getting a lenient sentence, because the people are on their side. I'm sorry, but they already have those rights. The only rights they do not have are the right to fuck children, and long may that continue, because it's dangerous. Kids should not be having sex unless they happen to be 16 or over, as it is in my country and in some American states. And they keep mentioning those horrible emotions that those people are feeling. Now, for some of them who don't act on their feelings, I kind of feel sympathy somewhat. I can see how that would destroy you from the inside. You don't want to feel that way, but you do. And they're right. There probably is a natural instinct within these men and women to have sex with kids. But that does not mean we should give them the right to do that. It's dangerous. It's bad for our society. We can't have children being used and abused legally. It will mess up our society and put untold numbers of children into mental hospitals and therapy. And we can't have that, can we? We need kids to be kids and to grow up naturally, so that when they do have sex, it's consensual, hopefully, and that they understand and are able to physically and mentally deal with this important act in their lives. That's what we should be doing. But no, we should not be giving these people rights to go and fuck them carte blanche, as if that's somehow this big civil rights movement. It isn't, and it never will be. Anyway, that's the video. It ends up just going on and on with this horrible Bandicamp shit. Now, you won't be seeing an awful lot of adult voices in this. In fact, so far in the videos I've seen, I can't see any at all. And these are only the short ones that I've decided to pick because they're interesting to me. That was the mission statement. That was their mission statement. That was what they were saying they were all about. The channel trailer, essentially. Now, what did they think of consent? Because that's the big issue here, obviously. I mean, consent is why we have the age of consent and why kids are not allowed to have sex. So, take it away, Heart Progress. Now in this video, they've been showing these quotes from apparently real people, yeah right, real people, showing how them having older partners was enlightening, it was helpful for them, they were mentors. Now this is something that the ancient Greeks would have done back in the day, but the thing is, these boys would have been about 16, maybe 15 at a push, but that's a completely different culture. And sex wasn't usually a big part of that anyway. It was more about an older man being a good friend with them rather than necessarily sexual, though it could be like that, but it depended on the era of the Greeks anyway. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to put in that thing of boy love with the older man being the mentor. But you see, you can have that kind of relationship and be it legal. You could have someone who's 18 with a 28-year-old, and that 28-year-old can help develop that person and help them with their feelings and sexuality and all sorts of stuff. That can take place in a completely legal fray with no harm done to anybody. But these people want it done to boys as young as 10, as in the case of this Dutch person called Stefan. It's a load of bullshit, people. And again, more unverified people, only this time they've shown some kind of source, something like boy chat, something like that. But we have no idea if any of these people are real. I don't buy that they're real, and I think we should take all of this with a grain of salt. I don't believe for a second that these people are actually 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, whoever, who are consenting to this properly and are not in any way traumatized or being used or groomed. And if they are literally saying this, if these are real people, they can only assume they're being brainwashed, because that's another thing. They brainwash kids into saying these things like, oh, nothing's wrong with me, nothing wrong with me, because it's textbook manipulation, if they are real. And if it isn't, well, they're just lying, because they know they've not got a leg to stand on. And of course, the solution to this problem is to just do away with the age of consent, or at the very least, just lower it. I don't know what number. I assume it's going to be very, very low. Probably like an Islamic country, or like Japan. But even then, most Japanese people don't have sex with 13-year-olds. The only end goal you guys have here is to have sex with kids. This actually doesn't solve the issue. This makes it worse. The age of consent has been put in place to solve that issue, and I think it's done well enough over the course of centuries, because we've caught many paedophiles and sent them to jail and protected untold millions of kids. So yeah, the only issue is, how do we treat these people? Do we send them to prison forever, or do we give them therapy in the hopes that we can cure what is essentially a fetish, or, as you say, asexuality? Is that even possible? Is it a sexuality, or is it just a fetish? And if we can give these people therapy and solve their issues, should we do it? That's the issue here. Now, in this next clip, I'm going to show you something that you might at first think is them using kids for their agenda. Because again, we've not seen many adults here other than one person who I'll talk about in a minute, who has been essentially the leader of this. He's the most vocal member at the very least. It only shows his face the most. And this is a 8-year-old boy who is a drag queen in Montreal. So they've labelled this video as, should kids essentially transition? They're trying to get into that thing. They're trying to say, hey, you know, paedophiles are all for trannies. So let's see this short clip of the video. And I want to see if you guys at first think this is exactly what you think it's going to be.
I think that anyone can do what they want in life. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If you want to be a drag queen and your parents don't let you, you need new parents. If you want to be a drag queen and your friends don't let you, you need new friends.
All right, boys and girls and everything in between, stop what you're doing, because tonight we're with the fabulous Lactatia. How are you?
Super pumped. I'm gonna walk the runway and I'm gonna Vogue.
And you were wrong, actually, because this is from a completely different YouTube channel. What they've done, and this is what they did to Miss Misa, is they've taken this video from a YouTube channel called, I believe, In the City, or something like that, LGBT in the City, and this was their video about an 8-year-old drag queen. Now, look, that's a social justice thing, but I have no idea, you don't have any idea, and I doubt Heart Progress even care if these LGBT people are pro-pedo or not. The point is, they're using it and trying to pass it off as their own, basically. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to use this kid who has nothing to do with their organisation and this video and this other organisation that has nothing to do with Heart Progress, and trying to pass themselves off as palatable to the transsexual community or the transvestite community. Because this kid's transvestite, he's not trying to transition into being a woman. He's completely different. So why have they done this? Well, again, they don't want to show their faces in these videos or even their voices, because they know they'll be called out, despite this main guy. Yeah, this is it. This is actually flaggable, because what they've done is they've stolen this channel's video and tried to pass it off as their own, putting their own logos on it and artwork on it and trying to say it's their own when it isn't. I would say that is flaggable. I don't usually tell people to go flag things, but go and verify that that is indeed true in the terms of service and make of it what you will, people, because I think from what I've read that that is definitely breaking the rules and YouTube should sort that out. Hell, even notify the people who made it. I'll put a link in the description to their YouTube channel and tell them what this group has done, because using kids like this who have done nothing wrong and are part of a completely different story is just absolutely unethical. It's disgusting. Now on to the Miss Misa thing. So what has happened is, as you can see here, James Carter is the main guy. He's allegedly a doctor or something. There was a PDF that was floating around in YouTube comment sections about these people, which is mostly conspiratorial nonsense, and they tried to link him with this pornographer who's really done nothing wrong. They're anti-pornographers, the people who are posting this PDF, so take it with a grain of salt. They also believe in Pizzagate, which is, again, you don't know whether that's true or not, and they're trying to link all of this to the DNC, and their links are absolutely retarded. So don't buy anything they say seriously until it's actually been proven. So anyway, he posted on his Google Plus, support progression by supporting hair progress, or heart progress. So hashtag above the hate. And there's Miss Misa, who, as we know, is against paedophilia, has had family members abused, and made videos against him, and is using her image. Why? I don't know. He then posts another one, and using, again, her artwork rather than her face, that says, "What is it like to have hate in one's heart? I couldn't tell you, because all I have is love. Hate is an emotion for the weak, whereas love is for the strong. You are able to hate someone without any effort, but to love them takes time, compassion and energy. It is worth the investment to give love a chance." And then what he's done is he's basically just photoshopped a lot of bullshit onto her artwork and says, "Can I get a kiss for heart progress, blah, 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 blah." Why is he doing this? I assume, I'm going to conjecture here, is because, one, he's seen her make these videos, and he's seen what she said, and he's using it against her. He's trying to pass her off as part of them, maybe to get some outrage against her, I don't know. So rather than me speak for her, let me show her explaining it to you.
So if you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know this, but it came to my attention through people like Ranting Monkey, Liz Reptile, Weeaboo Jones, Run and Guns News, that Heart Progress, the group that advocate for pedophilia that I've spoken about twice now, used my speed paint artwork that I used in the video speaking against them, and a screenshot from my other video speaking up against them, to advocate for, well, their organization, i.e. pedophilia, and I don't give a shit what the fuck they want to call it, child molestation. And I am obviously not very fucking happy about this, for obvious fucking reasons. I'll put the screenshots up now so that you guys can see, but essentially what they've done is they've edited my picture and a screenshot of me to make it seem as though I advocate for what they're selling, pretty much. They even went as far as to say, and James Carter specifically did this, to say that I sent them these pictures as a kind of, "Hey, we're rooting for you" kind of message. And obviously, I'm not fucking happy about this. If you want to pause and read all the comments below basically telling them that they're full of shit, go right ahead.
So there you go, that's the gist of it. It's pretty much what I told you and what I showed you. But I have one criticism of that video, and she said that there were friends working on doxing these people. Now, to me, that's vigilantism, and I don't believe in vigilantism. I believe using the law to arrest and punish people who break the law. If these people have been proven to be molesters, or if there's any way that these people can be done for the things that they say, I doubt they can. They're Americans. So these types of things will probably be allowed to be said as long as they're not acting on it. They're going to put the docs out there for people to direct their hate towards. And to me, that's just telling people to go out there and do some vigilante justice on these people. And I'm not sure I'm down with that exactly. I think if you're going to dox them, send it to the police and say these people are paedophiles and we've got evidence. Maybe you ought to investigate these people for any foul play. Just saying. But that's my criticism of that one video. I don't think we should be using vigilantism against these people. I think that gives them ammunition to say, look, we were just exercising our First Amendment rights, and all you've done is send a hate mob against us. I'm not saying it'll generate some sympathy. It probably won't, actually. I'm just worried about the potential blowback of that, and probably wouldn't make you guys look particularly good, but who cares? The paedophiles, so probably most people won't give a shit. There's also a stream that she did to clarify more things. I'll link that in the description down below, so go watch as much as you can of that. And well, that's pretty much the video. To conclude, I think this is a disgusting organisation that needs to be challenged at every step. Misa thinks that putting the light on them might bring more pedos towards them, but would you really want to join a group right now that's under so much attack, that are getting constantly shit on? Or would you rather want to stay back and think, I think I'll find somewhere else? Because these people have now got the spotlight on them and they're being exposed for who they really are and what they believe. So I think we should keep doing that. I think that's something that we should do. We should criticise these people at every turn. But vigilantism, no. The only people I would advocate being doxed are doxers. I think that Misa has she's got a case to sue them for slander or libel, whichever one. It's pretty much the same concept. And I think there's something in some of their videos where they've been mirroring things without permission and trying to pass it off as their own. I think people should look into that and potentially notify YouTube or the people who made those videos and then act accordingly. So until next time, this has been Charming Man 93, and I would do the shill, but this is a very serious video, so I'm going to end it there. Bye.